Hi guys, I'm Shmi and today we're with Benzine.
Hello.
And we're on our way away from the Geneva Motorshow. It's all come to an end. We have had basically the most manic couple of days ever.
Yes.
But now we're back in the FF in a traffic jam, leaving Geneva on our way to the next part of our little tour. So we're going to continue this. We're actually going skiing. We're going to a few other places before we get to skiing. Actually, I should probably start there. So a few videos coming up of some pretty cool stuff that's in the works in Switzerland. It's quite funny for us because back here we've got skis, we've got boots, we've got all our winter clothes, and we've been kind of reflecting that we've been friends for quite a while. And 10 years ago, about now, we were on the road around Europe, the two of us, in my Renault Clio back then, with skis, with boots.
Absolutely loaded.
Yes, with a very, very full car. We've got a little bit more space this time, but then we were going away for a long time on that trip. But yeah.
Probably if you'd said that we'd be doing the same thing 10 years later in a Ferrari, we would have said, nah.
But isn't it cool that Ferrari make a car that we can do this with?
Yeah.
And we've had the whole team, or some members of the Shmi 150 team at the Geneva Motorshow doing all sorts of things, so we've been using the car to get backwards and forwards and things as well. But I wanted to reflect a little bit on the show because it has been very, very busy. I have been exhausted because we've been starting super early in the morning, and then with Ben helping especially, we've been editing till pretty late at night to get all these videos of the new cars out for you guys. But I think the ones we started with, the Aston video, the Valkyrie, the AMR Pro and the Rapide S AMR, and especially the McLaren 720S video, have been edited by Ben, and I think you guys have rather enjoyed them. So I'm going to put lots of pressure on him to keep making cool videos like this, even if it means we never sleep. And I think we're going to try and do some cool stuff now with other things as well, but just editing a little bit more. I don't want to go crazy over the top of what we do, but oh well, maybe we can on special stuff like the 720S. And if you haven't watched that video, do go and watch it, please, because Benzine,
he's spent
Benzine
time
Ben,
on it.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time on it, and Benzine Ben is his Instagram down below.
Yeah.
I think that's a video well worth watching. But we've done, I think in total, around 13, 14 videos of the Geneva Motorshow, my favourite cars, or the cars that stood out to me the most to make a video with. Announced obviously that I put in an application for a new Porsche 991.2 GT3. Fingers crossed, no pressure Porsche. Allocations. A lot of people have said it's not limited, you can just walk into a dealership and buy one. And I wanted to explain that a little bit more. So the way that kind of car works is, although it's not limited, you basically can't get one. So they limit the number they build, not a sort of strict number. So there are always going to be a few less than people that want one, basically. So there's a lot of demand. It's kind of almost artificially created, perhaps, but what it means is, you know, a dealer might have 50 people that want cars, and in 2017 they'll get 5 allocations, and maybe next year they'll get 15 allocations in the whole year, who knows. So there are still a lot of people who might give up in the time they're bored waiting or buy one aftermarket, and that's why you get premiums and things on the Porsches, on the GT cars. Anyway, let's get to the point. Let's talk a little bit about favourite cars or surprises or things from the motor show. And probably I'm going to kick off with you on this one. What were the sort of things for you that stood out? What let's do this a few different ways. Let's favourite car and then best surprise.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm going to immediately cheat and break those rules.
Oh. Pointless then.
I would say Valkyrie, because I was looking forward to it, and we found out the name, and I got to see it in the flesh for the first time. But it's not really a car, is it? It's a shape.
Mold. It's the clay. It's the clay mold. So Aston named the Valkyrie. That was the AMRB001 concept. It's going to be called Valkyrie. Been some sort of mixed reactions on the name, but I think it's pretty cool.
I like it. Yeah.
And it's still, they showed the concept slightly updated, but we're waiting to see what the final car looks like and what the final interior looks like, and we'll see that in due course. So it's not really a car.
So real car, we'd probably have to go with Huayra BC. I think it's another Huayra BC, Huayra Roadster.
I was going to say.
We've just been talking about Koenigseggs and
Paganis.
I'm doing really badly here.
You are. So, do you know what? We're in a state of delirium from how little we have slept, and basically been doing over this whole couple of days getting here. It was the full journey down, then it's been go to make all these videos, and we've obviously been talking about a million things, and we've actually just been with a Koenigsegg, and we've been talking a bit today about the Huayra BC, so I'll excuse you because they're both fresh on the mind. But the Huayra Roadster that Pagani introduced with a blue carbon car, It's really quite beautiful.
Yes.
The colour of that car is actually the colour of the Zonda Tricolore. I don't know if you remember that. They made 3 of those, which was the special Zonda, which had Tricolore stripes basically around it with the blue carbon fibre. But 100 Huayra Roadsters, 2.3 million euros plus tax, all sold. Well, that happened fast.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
They should put the price up slightly.
Clearly, well, they have. The original Huayra started about €1 million, and it's gone, you know, more than double in the same series.
People like them.
But that was 6 years ago, and markets obviously moved and changed quite a lot since then. So your favourite car of the show, the Pagani Huayra BC. Gosh.
See, it's easy to do, Tim. It's not just me.
Pagani Huayra Roadster. And moving on. Surprise?
Surprise. I don't know where to go with that one. I mean, the Brabus 4x4 Adventure is surprising to say the least. So yeah, that was interesting.
I didn't know that was coming before.
No. I really do like the Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus.
That was my surprise.
Yeah, sorry, I stole your thunder. I'll let you elaborate on that then.
So, Jim Glickenhaus's SCG-003. First saw the car when Jim, Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus, introduced it 2 years ago at the Geneva show. Then they took it to the N24, they raced the car, they raced it again last year. I've seen them and seen the car at various points. I went to the factory in Turin, Italy at one point to film, and at that first introduction 2 years ago, Jim gave me a full sort of explanation of the car then and what they were hoping to do with it, and basically build a car, take it to the ring and race it. He came back this year with SCG-003S, newer, more updated, and basically it felt like a car that's more sort of set up to actually go out and use, but it was finished quite nicely. Beautiful pearlescent white paint job. The contrasting blue carbon fibre just made it look super, super smart, and I really liked how everything about the car looked kind of like developed, but still one man's passion and brand, and the way he's built it and created it. And so I shot this video with Jim, I hope you've already seen, basically explaining the updates, and he's kind of infectious to listen to, because he just can talk and talk and talk, and you're just listening non-stop to everything he's saying and telling you about the car, and you really get that passion through. And I think there's something really special about a car that comes that way. And so although I knew it was going to be there, I didn't know I would stand there looking at it thinking, my word, this thing is amazing.
I was sat up editing that video, and I found myself just watching the raw file that you'd taken, and you know, I'm supposed to be making cuts and putting other clips in, and I'm just like watching the video because I want to hear him talk and explain it. And I found it really fascinating how they've taken a pure race car and all the little changes and iterations and things they've done to make it a road car.
Yeah. With a New York number plate. We all know it's not hard to get on a car on the roads in America. With all the side airbags and extra smart airbags, that's what they call them, you have to have. So I asked you favourite car. My favourite car that I knew was going to be there but obviously didn't know much about is the Ferrari 812 Superfast. Obviously, well, everybody knows I'm a big fan of this car, the Ferrari GT V12 front engine format. Lots of power and enjoyment and an amazing engine sound in here. And the 812 Superfast, although the 2-seat version, not the 4-seat, is of course the step ahead, the next step. 800 horsepower, 6.5 litre V12, things like Ferrari's virtual short wheelbase, the rear wheel steer, all sorts of technology. I'm looking forward to seeing how they integrate the electronic steering that they've done for the first time, because it's set up on the same ECU as the virtual short wheelbase and as the slip control. So basically it's probably going to be quite clever, and the way they were sort of telling me is it gives you a little bit of resistance when you reach the points at which you're going to understeer or basically mess up oversteering. So it makes an 800 horsepower car actually drivable, which is probably the risk and danger for quite a lot of people out there when you get into something with that much power available. I didn't know how it was going to look in person, because a few people were sort of saying it had a bit too much bolted on and things didn't look as nice as the F12, but I like how sort of muscular it looks with the high rear arches, the quad tail light sort of impression it gives you.
I'm not 100% convinced, if I'm honest. And
fair enough.
Cars can grow on you. For instance,
oh, for sure,
I really didn't like the Mercedes SLS when that first came out, but now I love it.
Okay.
So I'm hoping the same happens with the Superfast, but I don't really like the sort of eyelids on the headlights. They have this sort of
with the vent, the little vents on the bonnet.
It looks like an eyelid to me. And then
you mean.
I love, like on the TDF, I think it's called the Aero Bridge, the sort of gap between the bonnet and the door.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Okay.
But it's not on.
No, the 812 has an equivalent from the front arches at the bottom of the door.
Yeah.
The way it comes up inside.
Estimated time in traffic, 7 minutes.
We're in a lovely traffic jam.
That's fine.
It's that
It's a
time
good
of
time
day.
to talk.
Yeah, it is. It is. We're nice and chilled and quiet. And there's no like V12 like screaming away. And
It can be.
Yeah, it can indeed, very easily. So I'm trying to think what else was there. 720S. We had obviously, it's quite funny. We had obviously filmed 720S under embargo.
Yeah.
A few weeks before the show, thanks to McLaren, so that we could put together that video and release it. Especially given McLaren's around the corner from home, it's not exactly hard to get there. But obviously we couldn't talk about it,
no,
which is always the way with embargoes. It's completely fine. Obviously, that's the game that I'm playing, I suppose. But 720S, I'm looking forward to seeing more of it in the future. It has some really cool, clever trick technologies and things. The flipping dash for the track mode. It has variable drift control, not drift control, I can't think what they call it, but slidable settings between how much slip it will give you if you want to play around with oversteer. The driving canopy is very much driver focused, but it's the way that you can see all around it that's blown me away.
Yeah.
If you're sat in the 720S, it's quite hard to explain this, but literally you just look around and the pillars are gone because they've split the C pillar into a C and a D pillar, and it means that they can be so thin because of the carbon tub that goes all the way over the roof up to where the door hinge opens, and the door itself opens up a bit of the bit right above you, so that it's very easy to get in and out. But it means you feel like you're in this completely like canopy that you can see all the way out of, which is normally a shortfall of supercars because you can't see anything.
One thing that was nice about seeing it again here is they had a lovely orange one. I don't know if you know what
I don't know the name of the colour.
But that was really nice to see because obviously the one we saw was a glacier white, is it called?
Yeah. Did you see the red one?
I didn't see it in person. I've seen photographs and it looks gorgeous, and supposedly it had that sort of from red carbon fibre to red paint.
So they had an MSO example that was the red colour, but it was clear carbon fibre for the bodywork through to painted solid red at the front as like an example of what MSO can do, and that was probably one of the most bespoke custom things. I had a quick glimpse, I had a view of it for seconds, not for very long unfortunately, so I didn't manage to catch any video of it or anything. What else were there? There's some interesting tuner cars.
Yes,
Very interesting. Gambala's new Avalanche is pretty out there.
That looked really interesting. I love the tailpipes on it. They were like the back of like the
same as the Mirage GT. See, I really like the Avalanche. I'm not normally a fan for bold, shall we say? Bold is the word of the year. Things are bold.
The diplomatic word.
The diplomatic bold. Not sure if that's everyone's taste.
Yeah.
These kind of phrases.
Not quite for me.
I'm being very British about things these days. But the Avalanche, for some reason, I just thought it was cool. I just liked it a lot.
The RUF Yellowbird.
The CTR was an interesting one because I didn't pick up at first what it was. So one of the things when you get to the motor show is you've just got so much in front of you, like around the whole show. It's impossible to know everything. You guys on the internet, if you're actually following it, know more than we do because we're not, we're struggling to get on data. We're running around the show looking for everything. But my favourite thing Roof did was the new CTR. It's a €750,000 car. They're only making 30 of them. It looks like an old Porsche, but it actually has a 710 horsepower twin turbocharged flat six, and it's built new now to the top sort of quality with a carbon monocoque. It is the only car in the world with a carbon monocoque and a rear engine, like a rear mount, full rear, not like mid rear, rear, 911 style.
The Fittipaldi as well. That was quite another surprise.
Vision, Gran Turismo Vision car that they're making as well. They're making 39. And fun fact about those 39, they celebrate each win. Was it each win? Each race? Each podium? Each. I've messed up my own statistic.
I think it was each win.
It is each win, isn't it?
I remember,
Emerson Fittipaldi's wins in Formula 1 and Indy. 39. So each car, they're not numbered. They're connected to a race win.
Yeah, and so
which is a really nice way
to be able to spec their car related to that win. So maybe the country of the race, or the era, or the car he was driving at the time, that sort of thing. So that was really cool. And the one that they had at the show was yellow with little green accents to sort of highlight that Brazil connection, which was really cool.
Yeah, so that was quite nice. We had, I'm trying to rack my brains now for the other cars that were there. Do we have any other, well, completely randomly, and I shouldn't probably like it as much as I did, but the Ital Design Zero Uno. Do you know what? It screams Lamborghini Aventador J, Veneno, Centenario, and that's because obviously the designer who formerly built or created those products for Lamborghini now is Ital Design. It's the same group, it's the VW group, so all the companies are connected. And Zero Uno is clearly the first. Zero Due will probably follow. Zero Two, well, Zero Uno is literally 01, project number 1. 5 of those, project number 2 no doubt coming in the future. I think it's about 1.5 million euros. It's a little bit ridiculous. It's based on an R8 V10 Plus, but I don't know, something about it just looks,
it looks
in
crazy.
Your face.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
It's definitely in your
It's just
face.
one of those, like, just comes together quite nicely in a way that I for some reason liked. Please don't shoot me. I think it was really, really good. Weather has gone amazingly well on our side, hasn't it?
Half of the course.
Yeah, it's rained every single day, so getting in and out of Geneva, we've been sitting in huge amounts of traffic, dealing with...
How long did it take us to do? Half an hour the other day?
So where we stayed, because we had the whole team, we rented a house just outside Geneva. In theory, half an hour away from the show. It took us 2.5 hours to get there one day. 2.5 hours to do a half-an-hour journey. I was so stressed out by the time I was shooting the videos.
We had the intention of uploading that morning's video at the motor show. So we're like, oh yeah, we'll drive there half an hour, get on the Wi-Fi, it'll be uploaded for this time. Cut to us sitting in traffic 2.5 hours later, pulling our hair out.
Yeah, so there are more problems that you don't necessarily actually know about going into these shows and getting it all done. And my voice, if I had to shoot many videos today, my voice would just be done, absolutely done. But it's been a really, really fun show. It's gone very well to plan, I'd say. I had a pretty good idea of the kind of content I wanted to create. We put all of that out, and I thank all of you guys, of course, for watching it, and thank Ben for editing it all.
Not at all.
But I definitely don't want this to be the last of some decent videos, decent video editing. Hopefully we'll have more in the future, definitely for the rest of this trip. Like I said, we're going a few more things in Switzerland, then we're going to the Alps, then we're doing some stuff in Germany as well on the way back home. Before, I've got another couple of flight things, and then it's the next trip in the new car. The new car that you now know, unlike the vote on QT where everyone has told me to buy a 911 GTS, it's not going to be a 911 GTS because I've got a 911 GT3 hopefully on
the way.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Allocations, who knows? Probably only 1 in about 5 people get one, so please, pretty please. Anyway, there's going to be something else a bit more GT based, and I'm going to choose that this month, so that's going to happen ready for the end of the month, so stay tuned. There's going to be that car that I'm going to take to the Wes Schmie tour in April, that Ben will be joining me on as well. The McLaren is going to be part of that too, so the 675 LT Spider will be on that tour, as well as the new car. Then after that, in May, I'm going to do stuff with the GT8 around the UK probably. Then we get to, where are we, June I think I'm going to take the new car and this on Streetgasm.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that, Streetgasm Rally from Netherlands to Spain in June. And then I basically got other stuff, so I'm going to mix it up big time between all the cars. Focus RS is doing some things, the Mini probably stays in England, obvious reasons.
It doesn't like going very far, does it?
No, I don't want to risk it. So I know people, because I've seen so many comments recently, people saying like, you're not using this car, that car and the other car. It's like, well, actually every car does too many miles, and they all need servicing. So I have this ridiculously complicated plan of which car is doing which trip. It's the most ridiculous problem I ever could have imagined having, but hey, we get it sorted. So it's been a good show. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Do let us know what you've liked the most, car-wise. What's your favourite car? What cars you really haven't liked?
Yes.
And what you think of the editing, how well Ben's done, whether you want to see more of that, whether it's too much. It's not too much, but it takes a lot of time.
I welcome any constructive criticism.
Yeah. Genuine constructive criticism, not like silly things, but like guys out there who have helpful pointers. Let us know.
I've
really
already had a few messages from people on Instagram with some very helpful constructive criticism, so thank you to you guys. Obviously there are some constraints in place, like when time is probably number one. You know, how many videos have we put out in that many hours? You know, you have to consider, you film these videos, you then have to import all the clips, go through them, find the right places.
Multiple cameras,
multiple cameras. Yeah. It takes a lot longer than you might imagine.
Oh yes.
And we're not about to start running around with like red cameras and...
No, guys.
You know.
So very intentionally keeping the cameras we're using, because it means we can actually put out content at this regular frequency. And yeah, there are different ways of doing it. We could go to fewer videos, but I like being able to bring you the full story, the full kind of insider look and access to everything on a sort of daily basis, or bi-daily, or bi-daily, does that mean twice a day, whatever, as much as kind of humanly possible to share, I guess, the supercar dream, living the supercar dream, traveling around, going to all these events and road tripping in cars like the FF. So yeah, let us know what you've liked, what you haven't liked, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing the stuff that's to come. I certainly am. Just needed good rest for a couple of days to recover from the 2017 Geneva Motor Show.
Get your voice back.
Get my voice back, yeah, so I'll stop talking now. I'll shut up.
I'll drive.
You'll drive. We'll make our way on towards our next stop. Thank you very much for joining all the content and for following the story so far. That is it for this time. Catch up with you again very soon. Cheers.